chemical properties of acids. Okay. So now let me discuss about the next chemical property, which is the most important one even. So that is whole base electrolysis. Clear? Whole base electrolysis. Okay. Now here what happened in this one, 2 moles of RCOONA, that is the sodium salt of carboxylic acid. Okay. So let us take its aqueous solution. Clear? When it is subjected to electrolysis. When it is subjected to electrolysis, then here what happened? R is formed and CO2. Okay, remember everyone, these are the two products formed at anode. Clear? Alkane is formed and CO2. Okay, next, total 4 products are formed. Okay, and NaOH as well as H2. Remember, NaOH plus H2, these two are formed at cathode. Followed. So this RR, that is called as what? Tell me, alkane. This RR is said to be alkane. Which alkane? Symmetrical alkane. So please copy the reaction quickly. Then we will see its mechanism. Then some concerned examples we will be seeing. Okay. Now, coming to the point of mechanism. Clear? Now, in mechanism, we are going to see first of all RCOO minus and Na plus. Am I right? Once you see here, RCOO minus is there. So that only I wrote here RCOO minus. You know, minus means what? You know, minus means in that minus 2 electrons are there. In that minus charge, 2 electrons will be there. I hope you are able to understand everyone. Clear everyone? Okay. So now what happened? I think you know in electrolysis, okay, oxidation, reduction both happens. So at oxidation, what happened? Electrons will be lost. Loss of electrons is called oxidation. No? Is it clear? So now tell me, out of the 2 electrons here, when electron is lost, you see still 1 more electron left over here. Clear? 1 more electron left over here. Therefore, now I can write like this, the remaining part then R C double bonded O. This is 1 electron left over. Okay. Now here with other color I want to write here. You see in this bond also 2 electrons are there. Followed. Now this single electron comes here. From this 1 electron comes here, form a bond. In this still 1 more electron left over, that electron comes here. Followed. So now tell me, what is the thing that is formed here? R dot is formed, CO2 is liberated out. R dot is formed and CO2 is liberated out. Clear? Now tell me, how many moles are COONA you see? 2 moles. Out of that 1 mole is giving R dot. If I take 1 more mole, it also will give R dot only. Na? Okay, it also will give R dot. So R dot combines with R dot, then we will get RR. And remember everyone, this is the reaction happening at anode. Please be clear, because you know at anode oxidation takes place. Oxidation means what? Loss of electron. At anode oxidation takes place, which means loss of electron. Completed. Now coming to the point of cathode, then okay, at cathode what reaction is happening? So at cathode, remember, reduction takes place. Reduction means what? Gain of electrons. Is it clear? So Na plus will gain the electron, converts into what? Na. Na plus gains the electron, converts into Na. And remember everyone, this Na when dissolved in water produces NaOH plus H2. So NaOH plus H2 are formed at cathode. Next, alkane and CO2 are formed at anode. This is the mechanism of coal-based electrolysis. Hope you are able to understand this one. Okay. One important point I want to discuss in this coal-based electrolysis. Okay. Before that, let me write the reaction once again. So here, 2 moles of RCOONA is reacting with 2 moles of water. This mixture, when subjected to electrolysis, then here we are getting RR. Byproducts are common, CO2 plus NaOH plus H2. Clear? But one important thing to be noted in coal-based electrolysis. Now, let me talk about this R. This is the most important one here, R here. So, now one important thing I want to discuss here. Remember, if R is a tertiary, okay, if R is tertiary alkyl group, then remember everyone, okay, product is not alkane. Then what is the product, you know? RCOOR. What is RCOOR? Ester. Is it clear? Ester is the major product. Ester is the major product. Remember everyone. Okay, this is one important point to be noted in the coal-based electrolysis. If R is 3 degree, then ester is the major product here. Followed. One more important thing here, once you see now. Okay, now look here. If I take RCOONA, then I am getting RR here. Am I right? Okay, then based on this one, let us take the examples here. Okay, now if I take now MECOONA when subjected to coal-based electrolysis, okay, every time 2 moles only. No need to write 2. Coal-based electrolysis means 2 moles. Clear? Then R we have to get. That means Me we are getting here. What is Me? That is ethane. Followed. Now here, if I take now EtCOONA when subjected to coal-based electrolysis, then Okay, then here we will get ET. Completed. If I take two different alkyl groups, then okay, so see clearly, one is MECOONA plus ETCOONA when subjected to coal-based electrolysis. When subjected to coal-based electrolysis, then I will get the mixture of three alkanes. One is ME, the other one is ET, and the other one is MEET. In this way, we will get a mixture of three alkanes. Hope you are copying this one. Finished? Now, if a compound is given like this, CH2 COONA, similarly here also CH2 COONA. Okay, first of all, what is the name of this reactant that we are going to see? Name of this reactant is sodium succinate. Sodium succinate when subjected to coal-based electrolysis. Okay, so what happened here? CH2 double bonded CH2 is formed. This is called ethene. This is called ethene. Clear? Now, if I take the next one more example here. Okay, one more example I want to take here. So now C double bonded C. So here I want to take the COOK, here also COOK, and here hydrogen, whereas here also hydrogen. Okay, so what is the name of this one then? What it is called as? This is called as the potassium maleate. Potassium maleate, and remember it is the cis isomer. It is the cis isomer. Clear? Then what is the product formed here? Potassium maleate, aqueous solution when subjected to electrolysis. Okay. What is the product formed here? C triple bonded C, H and H. Clear? So what is the name of this one? This product is said to be what? Ethyne. Okay. Now, if I take the trans isomer, then okay. So see clearly, C double bonded C, H and H, same groups exactly opposite to each other. Here COOK, COOK. When subjected to electrolysis, again we will get the same CH2, CH2 only. Okay. So first of all, what is the name of this trans isomer? Remember, trans isomer is said to be potassium fumarate. Potassium fumarate is the trans isomer. Clear? And here again the product obtained is same, that is ethyne. Hope you are able to understand this one. So both cis and trans isomer are giving same products. You see ethyne only, potassium malleate, potassium fumarate. Both are giving same product. Completed. Okay. Now coming to the point of the next one. For example, if I take a compound like this now. Okay. Then here what happened? Product formed is this one. Double bond is formed inside the ring. So what would be its name? It is said to be cyclohexene. Followed. So in this way, in pole-based electrolysis, we will get alkane, alkene, alkyne, everything. But one important reaction is there in the pole-based electrolysis. Okay, and this is one important reaction. Now, for example, if you take HCOONA, that is sodium formate. So sodium formate, when subjected to coal-based electrolysis, clear, R should be formed. Then here what happened? HH, that means here H2 will be formed here. But no, what I want to say, alkane is formed in this reaction. No alkane is formed in this reaction. So this is one important reaction in case of again coal-based electrolysis. Remaining byproducts are same only here. Clear? What are the remaining byproducts here? Remaining byproducts are CO2 is formed, NaOH is formed, H2, that are all same. There is no change. So if you take sodium formate, then no alkane is formed. Instead, hydrogen gas liberates. Okay. One important thing I want to discuss here. Okay. Now here, once you see one important thing I want to discuss here, that is in this reaction, okay, only CO2 is there na. CO2 liberates at anode, remember everyone. Okay. Now hydrogen as well as NaOH, all the three are liberated at cathode, remember. Hydrogen is liberated, hydrogen as well as NaOH will be liberated at cathode. Only CO2 is liberated at anode. Completed everyone? So this is about the coal-based electrolysis. Hope you are able to understand this one. Right? Now in this lesson, still two reactions are there, important reactions, that also we are going to see. Next one is the most important one. Okay. Hell, Volhard, Zelensky reaction. Hell, Volhard, Zelensky reaction. Remember, this is called as the HVZ reaction. Its abbreviation is HVZ. Hell, Volhard, Zelensky reaction. Okay. First of all, which type of acids will undergo this reaction? That is important here. So now here I am writing out one important point. So see clearly, carboxylic acids which contain alpha hydrogen atoms. Clear? Which contain alpha hydrogen atoms, okay, undergo this reaction. Is it clear, everyone? So the carboxylic acid, okay, which contain alpha hydrogen atoms undergo this reaction. Remember. So remember, all the acids do not participate in this reaction. Only the acids which contain alpha hydrogen atoms only will participate in this reaction.
See,
now here let me take one example, CH3COOH. So functional group bonded carbon is alpha carbon, and here you see 3 alpha hydrogens are there for alpha carbon. Clear? So this, when treated with chlorine in presence of red phosphorus, then what happened? In every step, chlorine will displace the alpha hydrogen. Okay, so what happened here? CH2 Cl COOH is formed. First of all, it is called as the monochloroacetic acid. Clear? This again, when treated with chlorine in presence of red phosphorus, one more alpha hydrogen will be displaced here. Then you will get dichloroacetic acid. Okay, this again, when treated with chlorine and red phosphorus, then finally all the alpha hydrogen atoms are substituted by chlorine. This is the trichloroacetic acid. So in every step, one alpha hydrogen is substituted by halogen. In every step, one alpha hydrogen is substituted by the halogen. Such type of reaction is said to be HVZ reaction. So please copy this one. Okay, what is the name of the first product? Monochloroacetic acid. Second one, dichloroacetic acid. Third one, trichloroacetic acid. Now here, once you see, let us think, this is A, this product is A, this product is B, this product is C. Once we got this question in the NEET, okay, what is the acidic strength order of ABC? Can you tell me? What is the acidic strength order, Ka order of ABC? Think and tell me. In acids we discussed how to know which is strong, which is weak acid. Okay, so here in third one, in C you see 3 minus I groups are there. In B 2 minus I groups are there. In A only 1 minus I group is there. Is it clear, everyone? So minus I, that means electron withdrawing groups, and you know well, electron withdrawing groups increases the acidic strength. Therefore, which is stronger acid? First of all, C will come, then after B, then after A. Clear? So this is the acidic strength order of the 3 products formed here. So please copy it quickly. Okay, here let us take some compounds now. For example, tell me now, formic acid, or we can say methanoic acid. Tell me, do it give HVZ reaction? Do it give HVZ reaction? No. Why? Why? Because it is not having alpha carbon and it is not having alpha hydrogen also. Okay. Now here let us take now benzoic acid. Tell me, do it undergo HVZ reaction? Do it undergo HVZ reaction? No, because acid bonded carbon is alpha carbon, but for that carbon already 4 bonds are there, you see. So hydrogen will not be there. That means there is no alpha hydrogen. Completed. Now, for example, if I take now, next one you see now, okay, CH2, COOH, do it undergo HVZ reaction? Do it undergo HVZ reaction? Okay, so now you see here functional group bonded carbon, this is the alpha carbon and 2 alpha hydrogens are there. So it undergoes the HVZ reaction. Okay, how it undergo? Now let us take here fluorine and red phosphorus. So first of all, one alpha hydrogen is displaced by fluorine. Clear? When again reaction takes place with fluorine and red phosphorus. Okay, now one more alpha hydrogen is displaced. Hope you are able to understand. So in this way, the acids which contain alpha hydrogen atoms only undergo this reaction. Finished? Okay. Now we are going to see the next chemical property of the acids. Okay. Now that is called as the ring substitution. Ring substitution. Okay. Now, so to explain the ring substitution, okay, so here I want to take now benzoic acid. Okay, so this is the benzoic acid. So if I write the resonance structure of the benzoic acid, okay, so pi bond will go towards oxygen, then this pi bond will come here. Here, so now what happened here? Now this carbon will get the positive charge. Now here negative charge, and here, sorry, single bonded OH. Okay, and here double bond you will get, the 2 pi bonds will be as it is in the ring. Clear? Now if I write the next canonical form, if I write the next canonical form, then that will be like this: double bonded COH, and here O minus. Now positive charge at the para position, positive charge at the para position, Clear? Now the next canonical form. So here double bonded COH. Now here negative charge. Now what happened? Positive charge goes to the ortho position. Clear? Now if I write the next canonical form, then what happened? 3 pi bonds will be in the ring. Then we will get back the COOH back, benzoic acid. So these are the resonance structures of benzoic acid. Completed? Now here let us take the electrophile. Okay, now can you tell me, do electrophile attack at the ortho position? No. Why? Because like charges repel each other. It cannot attack. So now tell me, do electrophile attack at the para position? No. Again, like charges repel each other there also. Is it clear? So electrophile cannot attack at ortho and para position. So therefore, where electrophile should attack then? At meta position only. Is it clear, everyone? So now here I can write one important point is that, okay, so electrophile do not attack at ortho and para positions. Electrophile do not attack at ortho and para positions. Okay, that is, it attacks at what? It attacks at meta position then. It attacks at meta position. Clear? Therefore, I can come to a conclusion like this now. Okay. So now see clearly here COOH group is there now. COOH group. Okay. So the COOH group is the meta directing group. That COOH group is the meta directing group. Meta directing group. And remember everyone, all meta directing groups are ring deactivators. They decrease the reactivity of the ring. Clear? This is the most important point of the benzoic acid. Clear? So remember, COOH is meta directing group and it is a ring deactivator. That means it decreases the reactivity of the benzene ring. So COOH will decrease the reactivity. Okay. It is for this reason. It is for this reason. Okay. Remember. So here let me explain in this way now. Okay. So remember everyone, this is the previous NEET question. Benzoic acid. Okay. Do not undergo. Benzoic acid do not undergo Friedel-Crafts reactions. Okay, which of the following do not undergo Friedel-Crafts reaction? So in that, one option was the benzoic acid only. Followed. So benzoic acid do not undergo Friedel-Crafts reactions. Two reactions are there, alkylation, acylation. You might have studied in your 11th class. Hope you are able to understand this one. Okay, now to explain this one, let us take some examples now. Okay, some 1-2 examples we are going to see now. So first of all, benzoic acid then undergo nitration. Nitration with what? Concentrated nitric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. Benzoic acid when undergo nitration with concentrated nitric acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. Then here, what we will get here? Okay, NO2 will go to meta position. Why? Because COOH is meta directing group. Followed, and remember everyone, this compound is said to be meta nitro benzoic acid. Meta nitro benzoic acid. Clear? Now, if we do halogenation, okay, like chlorination or bromination, anything. For example, let us do bromination in presence of Lewis acids. In presence of Lewis acids like FeBr3. Okay, then here we will get bromine at meta position. Here, so now what is the name of this one? Meta bromo benzoic acid. Meta bromo benzoic acid. Come on, copy it quickly, everyone. Completed. So by this carboxylic acids lesson is completed. So that is one lesson only. Aldehydes, ketones and carboxylic acids. Here that complete lesson is finished out. And in tomorrow's exam, only aldehydes and ketones I had given. Carboxylic acid I didn't give in tomorrow's exam. I hope you are able to understand this one. In tomorrow's class, test, sorry, only aldehydes and ketones are there, but not the acids. Hope you are able to understand this one. Okay, now let us enter into the next lesson of the organic chemistry. Okay, so what is the next lesson? See clearly, the next lesson is amines. The next lesson is amines. So I think you put the heading now, amines. Okay, so remember everyone, amines are the derivatives of ammonia. Amines are the derivatives of ammonia. Clear? Amines are derived from ammonia. How? Now see clearly. So this is the ammonia. Are you followed everyone? Now here, now let me take the classification so that it will be clear to you. Followed? Now in case of ammonia, first of all, okay, replace one hydrogen with one alkyl group. Replace one hydrogen with one alkyl group. Then what you will get? RNH2. Clear? And now replace two hydrogens with two alkyl groups. Replace two hydrogens with two alkyl groups. Then you will get R2NH. Similarly, replace three hydrogens with three alkyl groups. Three hydrogens with three alkyl groups. So it is called R3N. R3N is formed. So this is said to be primary amine. This is secondary amine. This is a tertiary amine. So in this way, amines are classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary. Followed. So remember everyone, RNH2 is called primary amine. Okay. Next, R2NH is called secondary amine. Okay. So once you see now, everyone know, this is the secondary amine. R2NH is called as the secondary amine. Similarly, R3N is called as the tertiary amine. Followed. And I think you know, in ammonia, the central atom nitrogen, okay, undergo which hybridization? sp3. And primary, secondary, tertiary amines are derived from where? Ammonia only, na? Therefore, in all these cases, okay. So here, let me rub this one. Remember everyone, in all these cases, okay, in all these cases also, nitrogen undergoes sp3 hybridization only. I hope it is clear. Nitrogen undergoes sp3 hybridization. Hope it is completed. Okay. Now we are going to see the nomenclature of amines. Nomenclature of amines. Followed. So now in this nomenclature, okay, first of all, here I want to take the amine. Then here I want to take the common name. Clear? Then here I want to take the IUPAC name. Followed everyone? First of all, amine. Then common name. Then after IUPAC name. Now, how to name according to common, according to IUPAC system that we are going to see. So now, see clearly, CH3, CH2, NH2. In common name, first we have to name the alkyl group. So alkyl is ethyl here. So what is the name of this one? Ethylamine. According to common system. According to IUPAC system, this is called as the ethanamine. According to IUPAC system, it is called as the ethanamine. Clear? Now, in the similar way, if I take now one more CH3, CH2, CH2, NH2. So here propyl group is there, see clearly. Okay, so it is said to be propyl amine, and according to IUPAC system, it is said to be propanamine. Followed. Now, if I take a compound in this way, then CH3, CH, NH2, CH3. Okay, so according to common system, it is called as the isopropylamine. Now, according to IUPAC system, we have to number the principal carbon chain. Clear? So, what is its name then? It is said to be propan 2-amine. Propan 2-amine according to IUPAC system. Clear? Then how to name the secondary and tertiary amines then? Now, here let me take one secondary amine. Okay, so in common system, we have to name the alkyl groups according to alphabetical order. So this is ethyl, this is methyl. So in alphabets, ethyl comes first. Therefore, this is said to be ethyl, methyl amine according to alphabetical order. Ethyl, methyl amine. Clear? Now, according to IUPAC system, okay, the alkyl group having more number of carbons is selected as the principal carbon chain. Clear? So, what is its IUPAC name? Its IUPAC name. First of all, we have to write the substituent N-methyl. Is it clear, everyone? N-methyl. Then principal carbon chain ethanamine. Principal carbon chain is ethanamine. N-methyl ethanamine. Followed. Now, if I take a tertiary amine like this, if I take a tertiary amine, so according to common system, it is said to be trimethylamine. Trimethylamine. Okay, IUPAC name N comma N dimethyl N comma N dimethyl methanamine N comma N dimethyl methanamine. Hope you are copying all these compounds, common name, IUPAC and everything. Completed? Okay, so this is the nomenclature of the amines. Preparation and properties we will be seeing in the next class. So from the starting onwards, I will be showing you the slides today. In today's class, slides you see. Come on, see clearly. Okay, this is the mechanism of the cold-based electrolysis. Clear? Now this is one important point. If R is tertiary, then what happened? These are some examples of the cold-based electrolysis. Completed. These are also some examples. Okay. Completed. Now HVZ reaction. Right. Here some examples were given for HVZ reaction. Okay. Next, ring substitution. Okay. Then here you see meta directing group and ring deactivator. Okay, then I took examples here. Then amines I started. They are the derivatives of ammonia. Okay, then nomenclature of amines. Completed. Secondary and tertiary amines, this one. Okay, now preparation and properties of amines. In the next class, we are going to see. Okay, Vishnu sir. Vishnu sir. Okay, I think sir is not available. Anyway, thank you and have a nice day.